as a leader I was coaching recently, we'll call her Sarah, and she had a member of her team who was, in her words, being prickly. Sarah's high-performing team came to her and said, "You need to address this. It's not good for our team and we are feeling frustrated. This team member's behavior has to stop." So Sarah knew she needed to address it even before her team came to her, but she was hesitating. And when we dug deeper into the reason she was hesitating, Sarah said, "I don't like conflict. I'd rather avoid it and hope it goes away." As leaders, missed expectations related to conduct or behavior can feel tricky to discuss because it's one thing to tell someone they're late to work. It's another to tell someone that their behavior is having a negative impact on the team or they are mistreating someone. Just thinking about addressing that situation may cause some of you to break into a sweat, and I get it. And it's the fact of leadership. Not everyone on your team is going to meet expectations 100% of the time. You will need to have tough conversations. Let me rephrase that. You get to have tough conversations. I'm guessing if you're like most people, no one ever taught you to have these conversations and have them go well. And because we weren't taught, we end up avoiding these conversations like Sarah, or handling situations with a lack of patience or using words that are judgmental, assumptive, emotional, and we become self-centered in our approach. Meaning, we start becoming more concerned about ourselves and our comfort instead of the other person who we are there to help. So, how can we get more comfortable with uncomfortable situations? So when someone is performing or behaving below expectations, we share with leaders a 6-step process that we call a coaching for improvement conversation because the intent behind the conversation is to help them improve. If you want to check out chapter 5 in our book, we share the 6-step process for those conversations. I'm not going to go into depth about this process here. I do want you to keep a couple things in mind though before the conversation. First, we need to ensure our mindset is in the right spot. So let's consider these situations as conversations. These are conversations that you get to have with people when they are not meeting expectations because you want them to be more effective and improve. So mindset is an important piece of these conversations going well. So as a leader, we will always start there. Now, I'm going to share with you briefly the 3 P's of preparation. First is to plan. I would encourage you to plan your conversations ahead of time, choosing your words intentionally. When you plan, you end up with a much better result. So as an example, for our golfers out there, when you are preparing to golf, you're going to check to make sure that your clubs are clean. You're going to make sure there isn't sand or dirt embedded in them. You're going to clean the grips because you want to go in there ready. Or if you're planning to hold a presentation, let's say, you're going to plan for what you want to say ahead of time, your timing, maybe the questions you want to ask. Planning is a key piece to those conversations going well. Don't knee-jerk them. The next P is practice. Now hear me out. I'm going to ask you to role play with someone. I know it sounds cheesy, but there is a lot to learn from practicing. You can ask someone whom you trust to respond in a way that will help you manage maybe some of the more common reactions. So for example, ask your practice partner to respond in a defensive manner so you can get comfortable with redirecting when it does happen. Because keep in mind, people are fairly predictable. When you enter a conversation where you are asking someone to do something different than what they have been doing, expect them to get defensive or to go into self-protect mode. It's common, it's natural, and it's human. And so your practice will help you prepare for that when it does happen. And the last P is proceed. You're going to take action. You're going to proceed with the conversation because you're ready. Your mindset is in the right place. You've planned and practiced, and now you're going to hold the conversation and coach that person and hold space for the other person to feel safe during the conversation. So I'll challenge you this week to have that coaching for improvement conversation that you've been avoiding. Check out chapter 5 in our book and keep in mind the 3 Ps as you plan, practice, and proceed with the conversation. You, leader, have the opportunity to encourage and help someone do better. So I'm excited for you and I'm excited for them. See you next time.